welcome back to another video. My name is Jasmine, so welcome if you are new here. I make faith and lifestyle videos. I share my testimony with my health and the goodness of God through my journey. I also, like today, as you may be able to see, I'm filming a bookish style video. I love filming these bookish style videos. I've actually only filmed one before, but I definitely want to do more of those because I absolutely love reading. I love all things books, so if that's your type of thing, feel free to subscribe if you would like to. Today I am going to be filming a recent reading wrap up. In my last reading video I did a Christian fiction and fantasy recommendations video, and I can't remember when I actually filmed that, whether it was in January, December, I cannot remember. Anyway, I wanted to film another bookish style video today, obviously, as you can see from the pile of books I've got here. So yeah, I'm going to do a recent reading wrap up of January, February, March and April. And all the books that I have been reading recently, the books that I have been loving, the books that maybe I wouldn't read again. And just hopefully give you some recommendations of what you guys can read if you're looking for a new read. And just share with you these books that I have enjoyed, these books that I have read recently. I'm just going to be taking it from, I actually have a little book reading journal, so I'm just going to be going off of that and just speaking about them in order, whether I liked them, what I rated them, what they're about if you're not sure. And comment down below if you guys have read any of these books that I'll be talking about here. Comment down below your current read. My current read is Rights of a Starling, which is the next book along from the Shield of Sparrows book by Devon Perry. I absolutely loved Shield of Sparrows. It was one of my favourite reads that I have read. When did I read it? I read it last year. Yeah, but last year I read it. And it was so good. So I was so excited for this to come out. It's literally just come out not long ago, actually, like last week. Yeah, something like that. And it's amazing so far. I'm only on probably chapter 3 or something, but it is incredible. Yeah, I'm on chapter 3 and it's just so good. So I would fully recommend getting the first book and then reading this one because it is so good, and I have heard so many good things. I'm trying not to look too much on Instagram about it because I don't want spoilers, but so many people are saying it's amazing, which is really good. So without further ado, let's get on with this video, otherwise it will be so long because I'm just going to ramble about books all the time. And as you may be able to see also, I'm joined by my little filming assistant Lola, who joins me on every single video. I kid you not, every time I press record she tries to come up. It's like she wants to be part of the video. She's just so cute. So she's going to be helping me with this video, aren't you? Yes. Also, some of the other books that I did read in January, I didn't give like the best score, so I just don't think it's like necessary to put them in. Like I read a book called How to Kill Your Family, which was like a thriller, but it was really boring. I gave that a 2 out of 10. Air of Illusion, which I spoke about in the recent my other book when I talked about the recommendation video, that was a 10 out of 10. That was a great read. When the Moon Hatched, I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I loved that, but it was just a really hard book to like read and get into. It was very confusing and stuff like that. You know, it was one of those books that you really had to like concentrate on and then kept going back to the glossary with. You'll probably know what I'm on about if you've read the book. But yeah, as I said, my friend's got that book, so this one a 9 out of 10. I did love this book and I thought it was a really beautiful and good story. I just didn't find it really super gripping as I thought it would be. So I will read a little bit of the back for you, and it says, "The Dragon King is looking for a wife. The news causes a frenzy for the women in my village. The king will be sending out the royal guard to bring women of childbearing age to his castle in Jade City. There is only one requirement: his wife must carry enough magic to produce an heir for him. I know I won't be chosen. I'm only human with mere 10% dragon magic lineage, but for some reason the magic sniffers command me to present myself to the king as a possible wife. I'm ready to go to Jade City until my mother tells me a terrifying secret, a secret that could get me killed by the king himself." Okay, so the next one is, and this is one of my monthly favourites. As you can see in my little book thing here, I've done a monthly favourites. So my favourite in January was Air of Illusion, which I said obviously a few times now. I spoke about in my recommendations video. In February it was actually 2. It was Laura Faywin and Liza Lead, which I will get onto next, but I'll talk about this book first. This is The Lost Star of Faerun by Adele J. Taylor. Again, this book was one that I found on a live, or found out about on a live from TikTok. This girl that I follow was talking about this book and reading this book. She was doing like a little read with me live, and she was reading this book, and when she started speaking about it, I was just like, oh my gosh, that is so up my street. That is something that I would definitely love. It's a gorgeous book. It comes with the most amazing book art. The author actually sent me some book art from this book, which I was so grateful for and I loved. This one, again, all of these books are all low to no spice. Yeah. And this one was amazing. So this one follows a girl called Rhea, who is the daughter of a lord. And basically her father just keeps her locked up. He doesn't treat her very nicely. He's quite abusive to her. And then one night she sneaks down to his library, and basically this book calls to her, and it whispers her name. Basically, yeah, her father houses these like forbidden books in his library, and this book, like, you know, it's all about lost kingdoms and realms and stuff like that, and this book basically calls to her. And it's basically like this lost star of Faerun. She is the star of this other realm who is either going to come to save this realm or break it. And yeah, so she has to travel to this other realm. She escapes her father, goes to where she's destined to be. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say on this book. It is completely, I just absolutely love this book. It was amazing. I would definitely read it again and recommend it to anyone. It was just so good. And we definitely need the second one because it ended on such a cliffhanger. So I was like to the author, we need the second book right now. This is a Christian fic romance book. This is called The Wrong Kind of Falling by Whitney Amazine. I absolutely loved this book. I thought it was amazing. It was so sweet, such a beautiful, beautiful story. And it follows two people, Sebastian Black and Naomi Westfall. So basically she runs this dog grooming business that isn't doing so well, and her assistant quits, her rent suddenly spikes, so her chance at like independence and stuff like that begins to crumble. And then she meets this guy Sebastian, who is an MMA fighter. He comes from quite like a rich background with his parents, but they've cut him off because he's doing this fighting. They don't agree with it. She is obviously a Christian. She goes to church. He's kind of like dipping his foot into church, not really in it fully, that kind of thing, but is, you know, I think because he got treated badly like at another church, he was just kind of like, oh, I'm not sure whether to be fully in it or not. And then she basically gives him a job at her dog groomers, hiring him as a temporary dog bather because she needs the help to get her rating up and to obviously make more money in the shop. It's about like how she then, like, you know, really just brings him into his faith, and he starts going to church, and it's about their relationship, how they come together, how they work together. He obviously really likes her. She's a little bit more shy and is like, no, don't be like that with me, and because she doesn't really trust men because she's had heartbreak in the past. And yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful story about how they come together, the love of God, and yeah, how just like one's faith can really have an impact on another person. And it's just a beautiful story. I actually didn't realise this was part of a series. This is actually book 2 in the series. Book 1 I've got down there is called A Summer of Dandelions, which I'm really looking forward to reading. My best friend actually bought me these 2 books. As I said, I did not realise it was part of a series until she bought me both books for my birthday. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to reading the next one, but I'm definitely reading that one in the summer, but specifically because it's called A Summer of Dandelions. I want to wait until the summer to read it. But yeah, this is a great book, and I would fully recommend this if you're looking for a really nice Christian fiction story. So the next book is part of a series. This is called This first book, is called The Lies That Bleed, and it is part of the Ember War series. This is obviously book 1. Again, this is by Leah Stone, who is the same author as The Last Dragon King. I absolutely loved this book. This one I did rate 10 out of 10. Amazing. Would definitely read again. I absolutely loved this series. It was so good. It was kind of like Hunger Games meets Avatar type thing, in like kind of Fourth Wing vibes as well, but clean. No spice. It was just so good. I absolutely, basically this follows the daughter of an emperor, Aisling, who was born into privilege. She has trained her entire life to go into the wilds and have a chance of bonding with a creature that can give her unknown power. Half of the candidates will die on their first night and only a few will make it out. Those who survive the bonding are quickly conscripted into the imperial fleet during the war. What Aisling never could have prepared for was Cohen Badger, the former prince of Imbria, her father's enemy. When Cohen proposes an unlikely alliance, she accepts. They enter the wilds together and Aisling realises that she was woefully unprepared, especially when nothing goes to plan. After barely surviving, she's thrust into the Imperial Fleet to learn how to control her new gifts. But as her power grows, so do the dangers, including multiple attempts on her life. When you don't know who is your friend or is your enemy, it is hard to trust, but Cohen Badger appears to be protecting her. Or is he playing that one excellent long game? Which one? Only time will tell. So yet again, beautiful story, amazing book. I just loved how they kind of could bond to creatures and then that which gave them powers. And if you like all that kind of stuff, this book is definitely for you. I love all that kind of stuff. So as soon as I saw this book, it actually got recommended to me on Amazon because I bought this book on Amazon and then this one came up. And then I kind of clicked on it. I was like, oh, that's definitely something I would read. It's so good. Again, it's got really beautiful book art of the characters. And I think the hardbacks of these have more book art in them, which I may actually get so I can display them nicely on my shelf. But yeah, I absolutely loved this book. It was so, so good. And I would fully recommend if you're looking for a really good fantasy. So I'll move on to March reads now. Those were my February reads. So the first book I read in March was Wild Reverence. I've been seeing this all over my Instagram and I finally decided to actually pick it up. I went shopping with one of my really close friends and I picked this one up because they had a really good half price deal on it. And it's a beautiful book. The cover is just stunning. The inside is amazing. I can't believe how beautiful it is. Look at it. It's just gorgeous. And yeah, I was a little bit apprehensive to pick this one up because I wasn't sure if I needed to read, is it Divine Rivals, I think, first before reading this, but the lady at the shop was like, no, you can read this first, it doesn't matter. But I will pick up Divine Rivals because I absolutely loved this. It was just so sweet. Nothing like I've ever read before, to be honest, but I did really enjoy it. If you don't know what this is about, I'll quickly read the synopsis. And it says, a sweeping new epic set in the world of an international sensation, Divine Rivals. So yeah, that's why I was unsure when I read that. I was like, oh, should I read that first? But like I said, the lady was like, no, you don't need to, it's all good. And it says, a goddess born to the violet domain of the underworld, Matilda is blessed with humble messenger magic, carrying letters and secrets through the realms, including one of her own, a mortal boy who appears only in her dreams. 10 years ago, Vincent wrote to Matilda in the darkest night of his life, begging the goddess he befriended in his dreams for aid, but his prayer went unanswered, forever hardening his heart against the gods. That is until she arrives bearing a letter with the promise of a future beyond dreams, one that she might rewrite the dark, blood-soaked ways of the gods or end them. Obviously that doesn't give you much detail into the book, but yeah, I loved how like the chapters were like this and just like all the different kind of whimsical magical things to it, and how like talked about all the different courts. I did think when I first picked this up that I was going to find it a really hard read, but I didn't, because I was worrying that it was going to be like When the Moon Hatched, because when I read When the Moon Hatched, that was like, as much as I loved it, it was so difficult to read because there was so many different like different names, different dragons. There was like 5 different types of dragon that you had to remember, and I kept going back to the glossary. All these different people, all these different words and names and magical creatures. So as much as I loved it, it was a really hard read. So when I first went into this, I was like, oh no, is this going to be the same type of thing? But it definitely wasn't. It was really easy to read and just one of those books that you could like relax into. But yeah, I would fully recommend this book if you've not read it already. It's really good. Let me know also if you have read this, what you thought of it, and whether I should read Divine Rivals first. Divine Rivals next, sorry. And yeah. So yeah, I really do want to read Divine Rivals, but also I'm like, will I like it? or do I need to read it so I can fully understand the whole premise of the story in here as well? So yeah, let me know down below in the comments. Okay, so the next book I read after that is, I've not put these in order, so hence why I'm like, where is everything? The next book is The Orchid and the Owl by Mariah Montana. Again, this is one that I saw when I was just scrolling through books on Amazon. The cover actually really caught my attention with the beautiful flowers on the front. And then when I was actually looking on Amazon, I then saw it again on Instagram. This girl was talking about it, and it's basically like a kind of fairy tale-ish whimsical retelling of Fourth Wing, but with like without the spice or anything like that. And I absolutely loved it. Again, it's a little bit kind of similar to this Lies That Bleed Ember War series with the whole animal aspect. It's about an 18-year-old Raina Dre should be excited for her branding when the island's good council will infuse her blood with one of 5 sanctioned magics: the ability to wield elements, summon objects, shift forms, or talk to wildlife or manipulate minds. The good counsel is good, the branding doesn't hurt, and the institution she must attend afterwards to learn how to control her new gift is only a little dangerous. So basically this institution is like a school that they go to for all of these different sanctioned magics that they will get. So in the institution, the school, there's all different like sectors. Let's say there's all different like houses for each magical ability. So there's the one for, there's like this section and sector for the people that can talk to wildlife. There's one for those people who can summon objects, wield elements, and so on. So basically she gets infused with the ability to be able to talk to animals, and then she goes to this school to learn how to control her magic, learn how to use it, things like that. And then she meets a guy who was on like the council team called Cohen, and he is this handsome 5th year who can manipulate minds, and he understands her forbidden power because he also has the same one. So yeah, and it's about how those two come together, how he kind of protects her, because there's also this big secret that unfolds about her family, about her past, about her heritage, and he's the only one who kind of understands that. And yeah, this is part of a series as well, so I'm looking forward to maybe reading the next 2 in this series. I'm not actually sure what they're called, to be honest, but yeah, this was a really great read. I loved again how it included the animals kind of like elements to it, and all of that kind of stuff. And I don't want to say too much because you'll see if you do pick this up and read it, or if you've read it. But yeah, it was such a great story. I loved the whole fantasy elements, how they could talk to animals and how she talked to these animals. And then yeah, it was just really cool and a really great read. So the next one that I read after that was the second book in the Ember War series called Lies That Bind. So this again follows Aishling's story, and how the animal that she's bonded to, and basically her, no, I can't say too much actually because it will just give away the whole book. So yeah, I actually can't read the synopsis of this because it will literally give everything away in the first one. Basically it just follows along with her story and the animal that she's bonded to, her story with Cohen, her father, her sisters, and basically how she comes to power and how she deals with that. And yeah, and then also the last book in this series I read again straight afterwards. Well, no, I did actually read a thriller after this one called Like Mother Like Daughter, but it was really bad. I really need to find some good thrillers. I've not read a really good thriller in a long time, and I absolutely love thrillers. And this one I read called Like Mother Like Daughter, I just really couldn't get into it, so I gave up on that and read the third book in this series. Again, follows the story from this one and from the first one about Aisling and Cohen. And yeah, I won't say too much because it will actually just give away the whole story, and I really don't want to ruin it for anyone that's going to pick this up. But yes, I would definitely recommend this stories if you're looking for a really nice, clean, light-hearted, amazing fantasy series. And the books are also stunning as well. Let me know in the comments if you're a person that picks books up and buys them based on the cover, because I always do, and I have learned that the hard way in the past from buying books and then they've not been that good because I've just gone purely off the cover. But I feel like we're all guilty to that, because look, if you saw that in a shop, how could you not pick that up? Or the Wild Reverence one. They're all just so beautiful. And yeah, many a times before have I picked up a book just for the cover, and then the book's not been good at all, or it's been like a really like high spice book, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to read that. Okay, so the next one, again, I bought this because of the cover. So I was on the way to the hospital for my treatment, and there was a little bookshop there, and I had some time before treatment, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and look in this bookshop because I've got quite a bit of time before I have to go in. And I saw this book. Now in this bookshop, this book was really expensive. It was like $10.99, and I was like, no, I'm not paying that for this book. So I got my phone out and went on Amazon, and it was a lot cheaper. So I thought, yeah, I'll just, when I get home, I'll buy it on Amazon. This is called The Princess Knight by Kate Jacobs. Again, absolutely stunning. I really hope you can see that well, hence why I picked it up. It's just such a beautiful cover with the characters on it. Basically, this is, without giving too much away, a medieval retelling of Legally Blonde. Now, if you have seen the Legally Blonde movies, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Basically, Prince Domahall and Princess Clear are the perfect royal match. That is, until he ruins everything by refusing to propose. Heartbroken but determined, Clear attends Domahall's military academy to win him back. After all, how hard can dueling really be? And basically, there's this warrior who is Prince Domahall's like guard. He has to train her, and he's like, look, I've got no time for princesses, even if, you know, even if he does find her cute and charming and he really likes her. But basically, this prince who was supposed to propose to her was like, no, you're just nothing but a pretty princess, you're not good enough for me. And she's like, well, I'll show you. Basically, she then realizes that actually I don't want him anyway. And it's about how her and the guard like come together, form a relationship, and it's really cute, and he properly protects her, and he's like, I hate him for saying that to you, he's so wrong, and you didn't have to join the army just to prove who you are. And it also talks about aspects of chronic illness in it, which I really love, because as you may know, I suffer with multiple chronic illnesses, and the main male main character in this does have chronic illnesses. I don't think it says which one. No, it doesn't say what he has, but it does talk about how he has chronic pain, how he deals with that, and I loved that she brought that into the book. I think it's a really important thing to speak about, and it's nice to see that represented in a book. And it, you know, it was really relatable. And also, I think she also has autism as well, a bit of that, because she's quite like, yeah, she got like quite stressed out in certain situations and didn't actually like being in the academy and stuff like that. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful story. And I loved how it was also medieval as well, because usually that is something that I would not usually like in a book or typically pick up, but I really, really enjoyed it, and it was great. Yeah, it was such a sweet story and really good, and I raced through this book, and yeah, it's absolutely stunning. So I'm definitely keeping this book, probably for just because of how beautiful it is, and it will look nice on my shelf. I'm like storing all these books up here in front of Lola. She is like, this is not fun. I'll put her there. Okay, so the next book was actually one part of the book swap that me and my lovely friend did. This is Ali Carter, I Tell You I Love You, but then I'd have to kill you. Now this follows a girl who is basically at a school for spies. So she's basically, it says Cammy Morgan might be capable of killing a man in 7 different ways, but she's about to begin her most dangerous mission yet, which is falling in love. So basically, she is at Gallagher Academy, which is a school for spies. Her mum is the headmistress, and it's about how they all do different classes on like spy stuff, how she's on a mission. She sees this guy in a park who she really likes, and then it's about how she kind of navigates her love life without giving away who she really is and what the school is, because when people actually come to the school, they have to disguise the school, make it look like it's just a normal boarding school. And yeah, I had actually heard about these books when I was a lot younger, and I always saw them in the bookshops, but I just never picked one up. So when she gave it to me, I was really excited to try it. And again, I literally raced through this book because it was really good. There's only like 29 chapters, and they're really short chapters. So I raced through this and I really, really enjoyed it. It was so good. So the next one that I read recently in April was, these are all my April reads, by the way, I didn't say that. So yeah, obviously the first one started with The Princess Knight. Quarter Labyrinth by Victoria McCombs. Now I saw this book advertised on the author's Instagram because I follow her on her Instagram because she's just recently brought out a new book called The Bride of Fallen Stars, which I'm definitely going to try and get because I really want to read that. It's definitely something that I've never read before, but again, this was a book that I've never read anything like before and I loved it, so I would like to try that book of hers. But then as I was scrolling through her Instagram, I saw this one called Quarter Labyrinth. Absolutely beautiful book. Again, it's just got absolutely stunning artwork all the way through. It's got gorgeous character art, which I'm not going to be able to find now that I'm recording, obviously. It's got gorgeous character art of all of the characters like that in the book. Basically, every 4 years, this labyrinth awakens. It shifts its location, and it's all got deadly puzzles, and all these basically stone gods take bets on who they think will win and make it through the labyrinth. And basically, the rich pay for clues to try and find its keys to get in, while the poor fight for entrance. Basically, this girl, she was promised whoever wins the labyrinth and gets into its center and wins control, basically gets all the trade vessels. But Ren specifically remembers her father. The captain promised her those ships, but he goes missing, so basically she has to enter the labyrinth to try and win these vessels that are rightfully hers. And she's never met her father. She's only like spoken to him through letters, through like little scraps of paper that she's kept in this trunk, promising that he'd return for her, but he never did. And it's just about how she enters the labyrinth, and basically how she's kind of comes against the son of her father's enemy, again a bit like Lies That Bleed, and how those two come together. She's also in this with her best friend, and then there's wolves in the maze, there's rope bridges in the sky. It's so cool. It's definitely something that I would never read before, but I really enjoyed it, and it was such a great read. I've just shifted location a little bit because the books kept falling over. So that brings me to my last book that I have literally just finished before starting Rights of the Starling, which is my current read, and the last book I've just read in April, which is Wings of Starlight by Alison Saft. Again, such a beautiful book. I've seen this everywhere, all over my Instagram, people reading this and talking about it, and I saw like all the kind of AI kind of character art for it, and I was just like, yep, I need to get that. Absolutely beautiful book. Nothing like I've ever read before, really, because I've never really read like a fairy kind of whimsical book like this, but I absolutely loved it. It was so good. I just loved all the whimsical elements, the fairies, the monsters in it. And yeah, if you've basically watched all of the Tinkerbell movies growing up, you'll know what this is about. It's absolutely beautiful. I won't say too much because it will literally give the whole book away if I read the synopsis on the back. But it just basically follows this fairy Clarion, how she comes to, she is a summer warm season fairy, and how she meets this other fairy who is a guy called Mallory, and he is a winter fairy, how they're basically star-crossed lovers. They're not really supposed to come together and be together, but how they do, and how they plan to like stop this monster crossing the border. And yeah, that is all I'm going to say. But yeah, it was a really beautiful book. I absolutely loved it, and it was nice to read it because it's like I watched all the Peter Pan and the Tinkerbell movies growing up, so it was really lovely just to read this book and just all the nostalgia and the Disney vibes. It was beautiful. So yeah, I would fully recommend if you have read this, and I would love to know your thoughts on this in the comments and what you thought of this book, because it was just so good. So yeah, that is my recent reading wrap up of January, February, March and April. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it has given you some inspiration and recommendations of what you can read, and that you will pick up some of these books and enjoy them as much as I did. Let me know in the comments what you are currently reading, what your recent reading wrap-ups have been, and if you've got any recommendations for me, because I always love some recommendations, or if you would like some other recommendations, I can pop those in the comments or the description. And yeah, comment down below if you're actually reading the next book in the Shield of Sparrows series, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and what you thought of this book so far without spoilers, because I'm loving it. It is amazing. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. God bless.